I'm sorry. I'll put it down the other side.
Before we get started, I want to share something that I discovered. So often I turn my phone off for these meetings, and I remember to turn it on Saturday. And I get calls and texts. So something I discovered this week, my do not disturb lets me put time on it. So I can put do not disturb for 2 hours, and then it'll come back on. So check and see if your phone does that. I was so shocked. Anyway, he's been like that.
All right, it's 6:30 on Wednesday, December 18th, 2024, and we are all here at the clubhouse located at 4801 Lakeside Club Boulevard for our December meeting of the Pine Ridge Condominium Association Board of Directors. This meeting is now called to order. I would like us all to take a moment of silence to honor the memory of a few Pine Ridge residents that have recently passed away, and Eric has that list tonight.
Ed Vigneault, John Pape, Beverly Trentini, and Glenn Timmerman.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you. Now let's all stand together and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Michelle, would you please call roll?
Sure. Bob Tolles.
Here.
Tom Trino.
Here.
Bill England.
Here.
Bob Geisler.
Here.
John Mao.
Yo.
Andy Levin.
Here.
Michelle Camp. Here. All present and accounted for.
Eric, was the meeting properly noted?
Yes, it was.
Great. We have a few people signed up tonight to speak on our open forum. Eric, who signed up tonight?
Barbara Jacks.
Barbara Jacks, 9540 Green Cypress Lane, apartment 16. I am here because I'm getting fired with all these questions, and I keep directing them to go back to you, Eric, and I don't know if people are calling you or not. The first question is about the dumpster being placed over by Green Cypress Lane. There's about 6 inches clearance of the garbage.
That's not gonna happen.
Well,
So
we want to make sure
the
that it
best way to
doesn't
start
happen.
a dumpster conversation is to say we're gonna move it by the dog park. So
Yeah,
thanks for everybody's input on that.
Well, there were lines drawn, so people got really upset.
Lines speak real loud. Thank you.
The next thing, people are still complaining about the fact that the roofs of their homes have not been repaired after 2 years of Hurricane Ian has passed. What is the status on that? Do we have a status yet?
Yeah, we're still working the Ian claim, but the roof should be done early in the year.
Well, I guess my question is, because this is what they keep firing at me, is if we have reserve funds, why can't we get them fixed now? And then put the money back
We just
when
have to
you get
go,
your
we
claim?
just have to go through this process of inspections of what we have before you fix it in order to have a claim. If we would have just gone ahead and paid for everything a year ago, they would come out and say there's nothing wrong here. So you have to, it's like fixing the car before you report the accident, you know?
But when were the inspections completed?
Like,
Last month,
yeah, very recently.
last month or something.
You sure? It's been done?
Well, the physical inspections were completed like 14 weeks ago, and it was turned into the insurance company like 5 weeks ago.
Okay, I mean, people are asking, so
Yeah,
they're
no,
not calling you, so now I'm bringing it to you.
yeah, no, and
Because
people are
I don't want
calling,
any
people are
more.
calling me. Yeah, and I'm happy to explain it to them. It's not the preference, but this insurance thing, it's a scam, and you kind of have to play the game in order to get what you guys paid for. And you guys, most of your dues goes towards this insurance. And the one time we have a legitimate claim, they're gonna weasel out of paying, and we're just gonna say, okay. I don't know if that's what the way we want to go. I think we should try and see what we can do.
When's the anticipated date of it being settled, do you know?
I'm hoping that it's settled to where we can do what we want to do work-wise very, very soon, like in the immediate future. As far as the financial settlement, I don't know if we'll be able to take the first offer or if they're gonna have to go back and forth or not yet. We'll have to see what it comes in. I'm inclined to take the first offer if it's reasonable for us, but, let's see if it's reasonable for us or if they really try to still stick it to us.
And the final thing is I want to thank you for putting the lights up on the bridge. It really does light up the walk area, so I'm not all negative news. But I do want to thank you because it makes you feel a little safe going across that bridge at night. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. And next,
Next we have Marge Bass.
Marge.
Marge Bass, 4781 Lakeside Club, right here on the corner. And this may be short and sweet. Okay, this may be short and sweet because you just told Barb that's not being moved.
It's not going by the dog park.
But you didn't say it wasn't being moved.
No, I didn't discuss that any further than that at this point because it is on the agenda.
Okay, it's on the agenda for tonight.
I think it's somewhere we're gonna at least talk about it.
Dumpster gates and enclosures. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
we have some discussions. Bob has a plan that he'd like to present, so Yeah.
And we can have some question and answer after that.
As
Well, I
for
can come
that,
back afterwards.
we're not voting on, dumpster move. That's gonna be for the future forward.
Okay.
Skip, did you want to? Randy Johnson.
Hi, Randy and Beth Johnson, 4701 Lakeside Club Boulevard. This is our ninth wonderful year here. That's the first time I think I've ever spoke. This first time I've ever spoke. This,
Bend your knees.
our condo 4701 on the south side entrance has a pole that has been like this since March. And John was kind enough to tell me that I better move my car over, so I did. And then when we left for the season, he said, you better leave it in that spot because they're gonna fix it and replace it with a cement one like this, like you see scattered around. And was still waiting for that. And I just, wonder why you're dragging your feet. That's all.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
And that's
Not
not,
to mention Betty or Pat could be out walking and it fall on. And if it does fall on a car and it's about gonna hit the windshield where it comes with the body and that 60% damage could mean it's totaled and you'd have a claim, and not to mention the person was without a vehicle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
and that is a repair situation, which I really don't believe it takes a vote from the board, but
Yeah, we were, I had all set up with the electrician to start replacing the 4 or 5 poles is what the Safety and Lighting Committee had recommended, and then several fixtures on the existing poles that we have adding to. They were gonna start shortly after Thanksgiving, and then Bob had came in with the list of 16 other ones. So I just wanted to make sure what our plan was before we start working, because changing it halfway through can affect the price and all different things. So I don't know to what extent we're gonna go on replacing. But as far as the original 5, those are still ordered, and a lot of the fixtures we have ready to go. I just didn't bring the machines and stuff in to do it, because I want to know everything that we're doing, so we can accordingly.
yes, that part of it is true, because I had decided to go out there, I don't know, maybe it's been close to 3 weeks or so, and start taking a closer look at them so that we would have an exact number of what ones might be a hazard. And we'll follow up on that a little bit more in the meeting. Is that it? For speakers?
Yes.
So yes, we enjoy hearing from all of our residents, and some cases we know that's an issue, and other cases you're bringing fresh ideas or news to the board. So don't ever be afraid to step up to the mic and have your say. All right, now for my little report here. For the past 4 years, it's been an honor to serve on the Pine Ridge Board of Directors. I'm incredibly proud of the work this board has accomplished, striving to protect Pine Ridge's values and enhance the quality of life for all residents. This community had 2 near misses with hurricanes in 2024, and we all remember Ina on Wednesday, September 28, 22. Ina was a Category 4+ hurricane. We did an outstanding job in cleaning up the debris and made temporary repairs to the damage. 2 years, and we're still waiting for a final settlement from the insurance company. We've Prioritize residents' input, actively listening to your concerns and acting in your best interest in pursuing any and all legal methods. This commitment, however, has sometimes presented challenges in balancing individual owner units with the broader community requirements, particularly income owner units. Despite navigating the complexity of high inflation, we've taken significant steps to reduce costs, negotiating new cable TV contract resulting in reduced costs for most all residents, negotiating with 9 window contractors, securing competitive window quotes from 3 of those vendors for residents' individual units, selecting quality materials that will last a long time, and contracting that type of replacement. We've invested in improving the community's infrastructure, enhanced walkability with increased pathway and improved lighting, mapped out and identified landscaping needs, resulting in planting trees and additional shrubbery, repair and performance improvements to our entrance fountain, improved bike safety with clearly marked bike parking areas, modernized entry system with enhanced security, updated the swimming pool jacuzzi area with a beautiful new fence, enclosed the pool equipment with a beautiful sound deadening wall, revamped Pine Ridge website with additional information and resources, transformed the tennis court into a multi-use court with tennis and pickleball. The shuffleboard court will be refurbished soon. However, we're still waiting for that to start. My first project as a board member was rebuilding the bocce ball court with high quality artificial turf and new wood surroundings with the assistance of dedicated volunteers. It turned out beautiful. I want to give special thanks to all those Pine Ridge volunteers that we have, the ladies that make our Thursday breakfast so delicious, all the members of the social club that create events for this community to enjoy, the many volunteers that make up our committee members, Noel Shorowski pushing a wheelbarrow and doing whatever he can or feels like, Dwayne Taylor out there doing electrical repairs and repairing the fountain a couple of times, Patty Thuringer, library coordinator, Kay McIndoll, I probably got that wrong, but she's leading the efforts to repaint this clubhouse and getting a team of people together. Michelle Locke, who you see out there once a week taking care of our butterfly garden. If it wasn't for that, it'd probably be a weed patch. I want to thank all of you volunteers for all of your work, and I know you wouldn't do it unless you enjoyed it. We recognize.
And you know what, Bob? I want to add to that. Lois Frank, this week was her 25th anniversary of teaching water aerobics in the pool.
Oh, great. Yeah, those are the types of things that a solid community puts together. We recognize the upkeep of our community has faced challenges, resident feedback indicating that maintenance staff may be overwhelmed, leading to a perception that we have a decline in our maintenance standards. Improving and organizing the maintenance barn, investing in additional staff may be necessary to address the increasing workload. Those are things that our manager is going to have to consider or address. We must also acknowledge the need to address some critical infrastructure issues. The Lakeside Club Boulevard and Sail View walls require replacement, particularly regarding those rot holes. They do look clean now because they've been power washed. The dumpster containment areas need replacement, repair, some sort of attention, as we've all discussed. They have hurricane damage with the exception of the one over on Lakeside Club Circle at the front. And those need to be done in a cost-effective, long-lasting solution. The swimming pool deck and entertainment area require complete renovation. This project must be executed with high-quality materials to ensure long-term durability and maximize resident enjoyment. Those are some of the challenges that the incoming board will resolve. Protecting Pine Ridge real estate value is paramount. I condemn Eric Ray, our manager, for his foresight in acquiring a condo and a villa to close enough. To prevent them from being auctioned off, thereby safeguarding property values for all residents. I'm pleased to announce, for the third time, the villa has been successfully sold for cash. Deposit in the bank, house being inspected tomorrow, and they want to get that money out of their pocket and into our account.
We want it too.
Closed by the end of January. 10,000 in escrow.
Could be quicker, but we do have 10,000. And
Yeah, it might be quicker.
after the dust settles, we will have made a profit of plus or minus $120,000. And the person that acquired that is gonna have a brand new villa, completely refurbished. And I gotta say, at a very good price for what they're getting.
275. 275.
The reason we're coming out so strong is the little bit of work that we contracted out. We selected reasonable bids, and we purchased the materials from Home Depot, and I did not take any compensation for my efforts there. I enjoyed doing that, and I'm glad that it finally worked out.
Very nice lady. I think it's gonna be a
So-
perfect fit.
We feel very confident in the situation. John Mound, Tom Torino, Bob Geisler, and I have dedicated the past 4 years to serve this community. Despite any Pine Ridge op-ed, I believe we served with integrity and set a high standard for the future board. In other words, Pine Ridge Board for the last 9 years has done a pretty damn good job. Thank you, Pine Ridge. It's been an honor. And now,
Bob, before we move on, excuse me, can we do the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting?
I was so excited to meet this.
I know you wanted to
Never like,
share all that.
okay, we always do the same thing. Do I have a motion to read or waive the reading of last month's minute meetings?
I'd like to waive the reading of the minutes from last month.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I'd like to read them tonight.
There's copies on the back.
Okay, never mind, there's copies up there. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Eric, you already spilled some of your report, but go ahead and finish it up.
So, Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy Hanukkah. I hope everybody likes the Christmas lights. I know it didn't turn out exactly how we wanted, but it looks pretty good to me. I was out driving around earlier. We've been doing a lot of power washing, like Bob said, around the community. Pool deck looks great as far as being clean and bright. The sidewalks are all clean, and we are going to have some additional stuff they didn't get to done after the new year. We'll be finishing. Our tennis court is complete, like Bob said. We're going to be getting, we have one brand new pickleball net out there that I got to show everybody an example. It's the Dominator model. We want to go ahead and get 3 more of those, so we have a matching set, all 4, and we can have a first class pickleball and tennis area. I You know, some people said only get 2, but I think getting 4 is the answer and doing it the right way. Shortly after the first of the year, we've blocked off 3 or 4 days for the clubhouse, the interior to be painted. Kay is leading that group, and I know she needs a few volunteers. So anybody that wants to volunteer, sure. Dwayne and Noel, you guys would probably volunteer. You're always helping out. But we appreciate it. Painting the clubhouse will really, brighten up the room. It's a lighter color and give a nice change that we haven't had in a long time. It's been 12 or 13 years since we painted it this color.
Color selected?
Huh?
Color selected?
Yeah, it's like a light gray, very light gray on the top and a little darker gray on the bottom with the white molding. It's going to look very nice and classy. We've got new umbrellas at the pool. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed those. I don't know if anyone's been out there. Has anyone been out there at night and seen them lit up or no? Not yet? Okay. But they have those solar lights. I wonder how those work. We're continuing to rebuild the meter rooms. Met's doing a really good job on those, building really professional doors, doing some real serious carpentry. He's almost done with the 9570 green cypress, so that will have both sides complete. And we're going to keep moving through those. Slowly but surely, we're going to keep moving through those. Some of them are much worse than others, so we're going to do the worst ones first. And you'll see, but the way he builds them now, we're stuccoing the outside and building real doors. And I don't know why we didn't do that before, other than maybe we didn't have anybody who knew how to do it before. That would be the only reason I can think of. So it's very nice. I know Bill, Bill's building was done. Happy the way it turned out. Right?
Really good job.
We put out about 12 and a half yards of river rock for landscaping and about 100 bags of mulch. And I got to give Dwayne and Noel all the credit for that. I got the stuff over here, but they worked really hard putting it out. That rock is not light. It is very heavy, and 100 bags of mulch is laying 100 bags of mulch. So thank you guys. We had 600 more bags of mulch delivered today.
Merry Christmas.
Dwayne, you're off the hook on those, though. Don't worry. We got people to do that. They're going to finish what they missed from the mulching earlier in the fall, and if we need to top any odds and ends off after that, we'll continue. Like Bob said, 4 of our current board members are not going to be running for the board, and we have 6 people who have volunteered to run as candidates. So that means we are going to have an election, which I think is great. With 6 candidates, it's going to take about 10 to 12 people to execute the counting of the ballots. We have 7 or 8 volunteers already, but if you're interested in counting the ballots and helping us out, just let us know. The only rules that I say every year are we don't want any current board members, even those outgoing, or their spouses. We don't want any of the candidates or their spouses, but anybody else who's capable, and willing, we're happy to have you help us count. It's if you've ever been to when we do it, it's a whole long table, and it's a little bit of a complicated process, but we'll have a practice round about a week before where we vote for Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and practice. And then we'll have the election on the 22nd of January. 22nd of January. On Tuesday, January 7th at 6 p.m. here in the clubhouse is going to be Meet the Candidates Night. Everybody who's able to come, I encourage you to come to that. We're going to have 6 brand new candidates. This is a chance to ask them questions, hear what they have to say. Some of them you might know, some of them you might not. So I think it's a great thing. Bob announced last week we canceled the contract that we had on the villa that we were selling, and this week we were able to sell it by the qualified buyer, cash buyer. So that's great that we were able to do that so quickly. Then I just wanted to run through those updates, and the last thing I want to do is go over the packet that you guys have that you picked up when you came in, or you'll be getting it in the mail if you're watching us on YouTube. So if you've been through this with us before, you don't have to necessarily open yours now if you don't want to, because there's envelopes in here that are very important. But I just want to go over it with you, so the voting process has to be done exact, or else your vote is invalid. So in your packet, you're going to have a nice letter at the beginning. There are 4 positions for the board available this year. 6 candidates have submitted their forms. The candidates are Brian Knapp, Debbie Kyvan, Patrick Madigan, Sharon Osborne, Patricia Thuringer, and Doug Walton. So those are your 6 candidates.
Who's here that's running? Sharon?
I see Sharon, I see Patrick,
Patty?
Patty,
Here's Patrick.
Patrick's back there.
There you are.
So, so volunteering for the board is a commitment and it's time, and we appreciate anybody who volunteers. We're happy to have the interest to have 6 candidates. I think that's great. And we want to thank our outgoing board members. They put in a tremendous amount of time and effort and thought about everything that we've been doing over the last couple of years, and they've done a great job. The second, so there's 2 important things, is your ballot and your proxy in here. The proxy, we just need you to fill out and return, regardless of whether you're coming to the meeting or not. Just fill out and return that. We need to have 232 of those in order to have the annual meeting. We're not going to have 232 residents here in person. So the proxy, and then you have your ballot instructions and your ballot. So on your ballot, you can vote for up to 4 candidates. If you vote for 5 candidates, your vote's not going to get counted though. So you vote for up to 4, so anywhere from 1 to 4. Most people, I think, will vote for 4 candidates. In with the packet is also resume information sheets from each candidate. They're 1-page information sheets. We've got some very qualified people running. I don't think the community can go wrong. But the process is this: you have 3 envelopes. Envelope 1 is your ballot only. So that's going to be your ballot with your candidates that you selected in envelope 1. Fold it up and seal. You have to triple fold it because this envelope's a little bit smaller than a standard envelope. Fold your ballot up. Yeah. Get it in there. Get it in there. Just only vote for 4. Don't mark on it anywhere else. Seal that, and then you take envelope number 2, and they're labeled envelope number 1, envelope number 2. Put envelope number 1 into envelope number 2. If you can get it in. Then you seal envelope 2, and you sign and certify on the front your vote with your unit, okay?
Like a Chinese puzzle.
Right, yeah, origami here. The 3rd envelope, it says in the corner, the proxy return envelope. You're going to put your proxy separate from your ballot in this envelope, along with this, and you can either mail it in to us or you can drop it off. That's one of the reasons we switched to forever stamps on these, because people drop them off and we save the envelopes now. Because the postage, they changed the price so much, we stopped using the metered mail. So that's why you have a forever stamp. But so yeah, if you can drop it off, that's great. If you want to mail it in, mail it in. All the votes have to be here by the 22nd. So if it comes in the mail on the 22nd, the vote will be counted. If it comes on the 23rd, it will not. Okay? So January 7th is going to be to meet the candidates. We'll give everybody about 2 weeks still to get your ballots in. And looking forward to a good election and a great annual meeting. And thank all these guys that are coming off the board for working so hard. Tom, Bob, and John, we appreciate you guys.
Thank you. I think you heard California was counting their votes still. I think it's because they're using this one.
We'll finish ours in an hour or so.
Bill, you made the effort to come down here, and some of you might have noticed, Bill's got a bracelet on. He's got a special appointment tomorrow, so we're all keeping him in his prayers. He's gonna have a little bit of a back adjustment. So, Bill, what's going on with the treasury?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Into my bill.
First of all, good evening, everyone. I want to keep this report short and sweet tonight, so we won't be here all night. As always, our treasury remains stable. If you picked up a sheet with the information on it when you came in, it shows what our numbers are, and we're not too bad a shape at all. So we're hoping to add some more money when this other comes in. And I want to thank everyone who provided input into the 2025 budget. I want to thank our manager for working with me to complete this budget. In the addition of high-speed fiber optic internet, will help ensure that Pine Ridge is up to date and with technology, and that it remains one of the best values in Lee County. The October balance sheet, as I said, and income statements are available for you to pick up on your way out of the meeting tonight. And if you have any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to ask. And just wanted to say one thing about the internet. Andy, Eric, and I worked on that for several hours, and I know you've heard this over and over. But as you have switched over, you'll find that what in our budget, the increase is, for most people, is completely offset, and there's not going to be any change in it. So there's a lot of work went into that, and a lot of cussing and discussing, and yeah, more cussing than discussing. But Andy worked his butt off, and want to thank him for that, and Eric did also. But we tried to hold everything down as much as we could, so that helped anyway. Anytime you can save a few dollars, it'd be spending that you don't have to. But and also I want to thank the 4 board members that are leaving us, and for all you've done and your hard work, and really appreciate working with all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. As Eric just mentioned, you're going to have to suffer through us for part of the January meeting. Do we have a social committee announcement of any sort tonight?
I want to thank everyone that attended Thanksgiving dinner. It went very well. There was a lot of food. People got to take things home. I want to especially thank all the cooks. Marge Bass wasn't even coming, and she had made a turkey for us, so we made sure her husband got a turkey leg. And we also had, I think who else? Lori and Oh, Colleen, there we go. And, there was one more person. Lorraine, Lillenholt.
Yeah.
And she's not a resident here, but she volunteered to cook a turkey. We now have someone that has volunteered to cook for Christmas, and that is our secretary, Michelle Camp. She's doing the turkey and ham. We have volunteers that are coming in to help set up the day before, and everybody's pitching in. We have more space, and a lot of food, so if you're willing, come, it's a free event. And the final thing is New Year's Eve. We are having a band. We have about 40 people that have signed up already. We would like to have more, because the more the merrier. And again, we thank the board members that are leaving for everything they've done and supporting the social club. Thank you.
And that Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day, that's such important, and we don't want anybody to be alone. So if you have a neighbor or somebody that you know that's alone, drag them down here, because that's one of the most important things the social club does is Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So,
Yeah, sign up for that. It's always a good time for those that come. Yep. Okay, some old business tonight. Review the new dumpster gates for the enclosures. I believe all but one dumpster has either missing gates or damaged gates. Along with that, the corners of some of those dumpster corrals, the corner that the original vinyl gate is mounted to is destroyed from the hurricane ripping those off. So those areas are damaged, which makes it impossible to mount a new gate to that corner without replacing the corner of that. We looked at different options and we discussed this individually, not individually, as small groups during our pre-meeting. And we seem to come under agreement that let's get the gates done and take a little more time deciding what to do with the vinyl part. I do have a guy that's given us a price on replacing the 3 walls of the dumpsters with new vinyl. I do have a price for concrete, but I asked him to revise that with the stucco coating on it and compare the cost of the split face type concrete block to the stucco block. Split face is more than a standard block, so we'll see how that works out. And that proposal should come in pretty soon, and then Eric can take that and get other competitive bids to make sure that it's good, and then that will be the next board that will make that decision. However, we're going to talk about the gates right now, and looked at all kinds of different options, and like I said, we would like something that's durable and long lasting. We could put vinyl up again, but it might only last till June or July for the obvious reasons. So got an estimate on what would be it's a architectural metal company, and they make gates for dumpsters. And this is a aluminum gate, and we'd have to mount it on post into the ground so that it's stable and easy to operate.
independent from the other three sides.
I have, one quote here, which is, $9,800 install, but we, found out from the city where we have height requirements on that gate. So I'm waiting for a revised proposal from them. It might even come in a little bit less than original because the gate is gonna be a foot shorter.
That's for all 9.
Hmm.
That's for all 9, it breaks out to less than $1,100.
So, yeah. About $1,000,
I didn't
about
hear that.
$1,000 each
1,000 each.
installed.
Yeah, about a little less than $1,100 each year.
And,
There's 9 dumpsters.
that company would mount them and they'd have lock pins and solid attachments so that they wouldn't blow open and they could actually be locked down when needed. So, that's what I have as far as that. It's an eyesore, as a lot of people feel. New gates in front of what's there would make it look a whole lot better. I believe that the most cost-effective solution to the actual dumpster walls would be concrete block. It's in one and done. It doesn't rot. It doesn't get blown down by the storm. And God forbid if the dumpster guy blows the back wall off, dumping the thing in there, that's most likely on them. And blocked wall can be repaired fairly easy. So, have some, yeah, we know that from Lakeside Club Circle. So Michelle, you were starting asking questions, and I certainly didn't mean to cut you off, but I passed that picture down so you kind of know what we're talking about. And you've probably seen that type of gate around other commercial facilities, restaurants, and stuff like that. You probably also saw chain link fence ones too, and that doesn't do anything to enhance or beautify the community, but it looks good in the parking lot of Walmart.
This, to me, the picture, other than the fact that it's aluminum versus the vinyl, looks very similar to what we currently had on Sylview with the pins and everything. The two doors came together and closed down. So if I understand.
Same design.
Right, so it's just that they're separate, kind of hinged differently from the sidewalls.
It'd be an independent post, the gunmetal post.
Right, okay.
Next to it. Which is-
Are they louvered?
They have a little bit of gap in between them so that they're not a wind block. But anything in the wind is going to create wind resistance. And that's why, they need to be pegged into the ground properly. Problem with ours is they're so distorted and out of shape, and the hole for the pin in some cases is all broken up and it just doesn't fit.
The gates probably should have been on their own post the whole time. The fact that they were tied in with the whole thing structurally hurt it we didn't anticipate Hurricane Ian, but that's what happened.
One thing that it does say on this proposal, Bob, it says the gates should be plate mounted to concrete walls.
I have you revising that quote. That quote was actually for a 7-foot tall 60/40 gate. And after some discussion, it would be better just to have the 50/50 gate. The idea of the 60/40 would be the one side would be a little easier to open, but there again, it would make it a little more difficult when that dumpster starts filling up and we have to utilize the opposite side. So they should just be a 50/50 split.
And 6 feet tall, right?
Yes, 6 feet tall.
So then they'll be weighted to a post.
Yeah.
So they'll mount a metal pipe into the ground, certain depth, they'll probably fill it with concrete, and then they'll mount the gate to that with stainless steel hardware.
But this is not gonna lock us into doing concrete enclosures, because I
You
don't
can
think
put
that's
any three, you
anything.
can put any three walls behind there you want. It's all about what you want to do, and get some quotes and figure it out.
Bob, do we have quotes on what it would cost to mount these on new posts?
The quote will be here pretty soon, and the company does all the work. It's a turnkey deal. So they'll put the pipe in the ground, they'll mount it.
I think, Tom, are you asking how significant is the cost going to change versus the proposal here?
I'd like to see the cost go down, but then again, we're
Yeah,
adding pipes into the ground, so it could end up being the same.
if they're trying to jack it up quite a bit, I'll try to talk to them and tell them they do it for the price they have, then we'll do it if not.
What price is that? This $1,000?
Yeah, about $1,000 if he tries to go
That's
up a lot.
installed?
That's correct?
This,
Yes,
this 1089 is installed?
yeah, it's installed.
I didn't see it on there.
It better be installed.
That's, right, it says,
I
those
think it's-
gates will be tied into the current block walls. I mean, that's about half what it should be to install.
Fabrication and installation shall be by employees of architectural materials. All welds are architectural grade and not be ground. Fabrication and installation shall be employed by employees of architectural metals of Southwest Florida, so apparently they don't subcontract it out either. So yeah, this includes permits, documents if required,
That includes installation
review of
for
drawings.
$1,000?
No, it seems pretty reasonable, yeah.
That's a bargain.
Seems pretty, I mean, aluminum isn't cheap.
And there's other companies out there that, we can get a quick quote from also. But this
We'll
was
price
the
check this,
start.
this is good if we have a direction that we want to go, a material that we're going to use, and a direction that we want to go. That will give us something to work with. Right now, fixing what we have now, because those corner posts, the way they are, I wanted to buy white vinyl gates and have Met build them and put them on just as Band-Aids temporarily, so it didn't look the way it looks. And it just can't support it, what we have there now. So those fences need a significant amount of repair, or they need to be changed out for something else, like Bob's saying. The gates in front, that's always been the weak spot. I don't think we ever considered metal gates. Aluminum is light enough weight that people should be able to open and close them, right?
Yep.
It says right here, required blocking and or filled concrete cells for gate anchoring shall be furnished and installed by others in all caps.
That's because that quote is for mounting it on a block wall, as I discussed with the sales guy. They said, hey, we're gonna put up block walls. Can you build gates for us? We wanna see how much this project's gonna end up running. Yeah, I can do it. And what he's saying there is the block wall that if we mount it to a block wall, the block wall has to be backfilled with concrete. Well, when you put a block wall up in Florida, it has to have rebar every, about 20 inches, and those cells of the center block have to be filled with concrete all the way to the top. And any corners in a block wall have to be reinforced with rebar and filled with concrete. But that's why I'm getting a new quote. So,
But you agree that isn't what this says here. They're not gonna mount these. They want it,
Well, it says,
they just want to come in and mount their gate.
but they're not providing the posts, right? We're assuming that they're gonna provide the posts.
And
They're gonna-
install.
They're gonna revise, yes.
yes, they told me
But it
that.
doesn't say that.
Okay.
We've gotten in trouble
Tom,
before
Tom,
signing
Tom,
contracts
Tom,
that weren't complete.
Tom.
Are we supposed to vote on this tonight?
Tom,
Whatever.
Are we gonna vote on this?
Tom, you're not listening.
No, you're not listening. You didn't read this.
Would
Yeah.
you please listen? I got that quote. We decided not to do it that way. That quote is no good. They are revising the quote with different size gates mounted on pipe into the ground. They drill the concrete, they put the
Bob,
pipe in.
I got all that. So just so I'm clear, this 1,089 does not include the posts and installation.
Yes,
This includes,
that is for a 7-foot tall gate. That,
but not installed.
So it's it's installed to concrete walls that don't exist yet.
What I'm looking for,
So what he's gonna
I
do is
wonder
get a
what the
quote
cost is.
for a shorter gate. Right. Yeah, we don't,
you can't sell me $1,000 wall when the value, the market value of the amount of aluminum in that gate is about $800. Problem, that can't be.
what we're talking about,
So why do we even have this thing?
if we were gonna
Let's get a
do,
real number.
yeah, if we were gonna do a vote on it, I would say,
But it says on the
approve up to a
agenda,
certain
we're gonna
amount, so we
vote.
can switch.
Are we
it's a lot of fun being on the board.
Are we gonna vote on this tonight? Because if we are, this is worth it.
I suggest we
Mr.
table
Chair.
this issue until the new board is seated.
You know, I'm not for all of us, you guys are talking amongst yourselves.
Well, here's the,
And we should have been doing this a week ago prior to this meeting, but we never meet.
one thing,
Exactly.
one thing,
I've been pushing for that for 4 years. We need to meet ahead of time so we can have this stuff settled before we come here and embarrass ourselves in front of you people. And furthermore,
Okay, can I, take control of this meeting, please?
so I have the floor right now, Bob. I have 10 minutes to speak according to Robert's Rules of Order.
You guys ain't even gonna be here, why you arguing about it?
That's exactly, Skip, that's what I want to say. There's 4 guys on this board who are leaving the board and won't be running. That's a majority of this board. So anything we would vote on tonight, it's all a lame duck. And these other 3 board members are going to be stuck with it. I don't believe that this current board tonight should be voting on anything to spend a nickel of your money. Because we're not going to be here anymore. And we've got no business voting on something that a brand new majority board is going to deal with. Let alone something we don't have a complete bid on. That's all I'm saying. It's common sense.
I'm still on the board. I still can vote.
The rest of us
So
can
we
vote.
can vote. I don't think we're ready for this.
Right.
But your idea that we're a lame duck board and we can't do anything is absolutely false.
I'm not saying you can't do anything.
You just said,
No, I'm saying it would be
You
bad
said-
judgment. It's like,
okay. Enough.
I can't go with that in good conscience. It's not the legal thing, but it's the right thing to do. And there's a damn big difference between what's acceptable and what's right. And I try to always do the right
That's why
thing.
we haven't accomplished
Okay.
anything in a year.
Moving on. So we have this as old business and we're gonna discuss it now and Tom's had his say. So we're talking about replacing the gates on the dumpster containment. We can vote on a dollar figure to limit it at. We will get a finalized quote here. People are tired of looking at them the way they are. And Andy, what are your thoughts?
Table it until we get all the quotes in and the next board can handle it.
Okay. Michelle feels the same way. So,
the only, and I'm not on either side here, but the only thing I would say is, if we table it, it's gonna be an extra month or 2 before it gets done at the soonest, so everybody has to be on board with that. It looks bad, and 2022 is a hurricane, and blah, blah, blah. But as long as we are okay with that, then that's fine. But we have to understand that. At the end, we can't have questions right now.
Any more discussion? John?
We should table it, let the new board members come in and vote on it.
Okay, let's table it. We can throw our thoughts out there. Who on this board thinks we should wait until things fall down before we do anything about it? Good. We agreed on one thing tonight. The new board can decide. Concrete with aluminum gates could be around 8,000 each. And a vinyl kit delivered here that we install, we already got prices on that a year ago for 7,500. We pretty much figure out which one's cheaper right there and which one's gonna last longer. So we'll see what the new board does, and that is fine with me. The community is tired of letting things stagnate and sit and not do anything. We sold the house, we have money. Money from the house isn't going to the roof, but it should go to things like the swimming pool and other enhancements in this community.
And I think this is a good time for a little advertisement for the voting for the election. A lot of things, the people will say, well, the people should vote on it, you know? Like I said this last month. And the people can't vote on everything. That's why you have representatives. But you do get a chance to vote, because when you vote for your board members, you're voting for the philosophy that they have. And that's why to meet the candidates is important. Reading their biographies is important. And don't just check off 4 random names. Pick the people that you think are going to do the best, because the direction of the community, a lot of it depends on that.
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
You put a lot of time into that, I know, into that, getting that bid. If you could go ahead and get the revision on that, so that everything will be ready, and so that we won't be dragging for another couple months.
I'm passing Eric's got this,
Okay.
This is what I talked about last month. That we should know what the cost of certain things are so that we can plan them out. The cost for the swimming pool was probably figured out like 20 years ago and revised a few times without ever getting a quote. Naturally, you wouldn't just get a quote every 5 years to see what it is, but at some point you should start getting quotes to see what that cost is going to be.
And we did the reserve study in 2023 to update our costs. That was one of the things that this board did. We hadn't had a reserve study in 8 or 9 years before that. So.
All right, that's tabled, and we're going to go to the second item, John Mao's favorite, the light poles. Full disclosure, I went with Bob and John, and we went around and we looked at the light poles that I had marked soft spot or whatever, and it got bumped by the mower. Who knows what happened to it, but they don't have a hole in it. And those are the light poles that we should keep an eye on. That's all, just keep an eye on them. The light poles that you can put your hand into the inside of them are weak. Some of those, I know that Norm would grab a hold of that thing and pull it right down. Those are the light poles that have to be replaced in this community because they're a liability.
How many are they, Bob?
6. one at Debbie Wagenholz's, one at Randy's. I can't name them all, but
6 of them, we have a list here.
Yeah, I don't need the list, I just wanted to know how many.
So hey, that's a concern. If I had to walk by it all the time, I'd be wondering. I understand why Randy came up here with the picture, because not everybody on the board has probably seen those. So
Eric, do we have?
that's all I have to say about it.
Do we have 6 poles that can be put in?
I don't know if they're the right sizes for where they're going, but we're acquiring like 4 or 5 poles. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 5.
Do you know when we would be able to get those? How soon?
I'd have to call and ask them, but I'm sure after the first of the year. After.
Would you do that so that we can
Yeah,
say?
yeah, I had
the
already
next meeting?
started, that process, but now that we know, I'll get a list of these 6 and make sure we have the right sizes.
Yeah, and I don't
We
think
like the real tall ones, but in front of some of the condo buildings, they're shorter, so we want to make sure they match.
I actually rode around Bob and John, and I was appalled at the condition of these poles. I could have stood there and pushed them over on somebody's car. I shook them, and I was afraid to shake them anymore, afraid they were gonna fall over. We need to do something immediately, like tomorrow.
It doesn't take a vote of the board to replace something that's broke.
No, I agree.
Maintenance.
One thing I could say also, he probably doesn't want to speak right now, I know his back hurts, but our man Bill here worked on light poles for a living. He was in charge of the electric company up in Kentucky, so he can probably take a look at some of these poles and let us know if they're really in imminent danger or not.
That's a joke. Bob can go out there right now and take 3 of them down.
I know, I'm saying there may be others.
Yeah. Well, let's focus on these 6
The,
and get them in the works like right away.
If you Google fiberglass light poles, pros, cons, it talks about the fiberglass being degrading from ultraviolet light, and they suggest that those light poles are painted. So the ones that aren't replaced should be painted to preserve those poles.
And that's what we did with the poles by the pool. We painted them, and it protects them and also makes them it looks a lot better. And some of them where you can see kind of netting through the black, that's for the fiberglass is.
We know we have a lot of them. I think
So we'll get to work on
plan
that. Yeah,
those,
we'll get to work.
Let's just replace them. Now, expand, we always hear from John. We're not done yet.
Everybody just agreed on something.
So, we agree that, things that are damaged around here, they don't take a vote, they need to be replaced. What John wants and proposed a while ago was additional lighting for safety. And John? Yeah, finally.
this will be my whole report.
No.
Again, I'm in charge of safety and lighting. First thing is, everybody got that packet with the speed limit and all that in there? I know all of you've read it, and I'm sorry, but that's what we really need. Second, the speeders. You can't stop them, just watch out for them. The reckless driving. If you got a dog and there's a guy in a red car coming your way, get out of the way. Nothing is more important than the safety of our community. That's why we need the lighting. I'm sorry that the additional lighting that I was promised by was never delivered. We just keep kicking the can down the road. 1 year, the lights on the corner of Blackberry and Villa, or Durkin and Villa, have never been replaced. It's still pitch black over there. I've requested 7 new poles along with new lights. They still haven't been done. I've requested lighting on Sailview and nothing still hasn't been done. We can't keep doing everything cheap. We can't keep waiting for things like we're being promised they're gonna be done and they never get done. I'm glad to welcome back all of the Windsor campers, or I didn't want to say SBs, snowbirds, but I'm glad you're back, because now that you're back, that's the only time that we get our projects done. And it's a shame that we have to wait that whole time. Look at the Christmas lights. Those were an emergency to get them up to welcome you guys back. But the safety and lighting has been sitting there 2 years and we haven't got anything done. First, it's been an honor to serve this community. Again, thank you for allowing me to be a board member. And thank you to all of our volunteers who work tirelessly doing stuff. And again, the rocks that we saw out there, that's probably the way we should be going, because they'll last a lifetime. I know that those 2 young men that were out there spreading them won't, but again, I want to thank everybody, all the volunteers, and God bless you. Please stop doing it on the cheap.
Beautiful guy's arms are 2 inches longer. That's from that wheelbarrow.
Could that be it? Are we done talking about light poles already?
Please.
Enough. Keep going.
Hit the hammer.
I'm done.
All right. Any more discussion on light poles?
Install them as soon as you can, please.
I'm here, just get it done.
Yes,
Got a hole in it? Put a new one.
yes.
Okay, we have some new business. We want to affirm and approve proposed 2025 operating and reserve budgets. Do I have a motion to approve the 2025 operating and reserve budgets as proposed?
I make a motion that we approve the 2025 operating and reserve budget.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, number 2, affirm and approve proposed changes to association rule and regulations. Do I have a motion to approve the changes to rules and regulations as proposed?
One note, I talked to Eric about this, there's 2 typos,
Yes, they, I believe, been corrected.
they're corrected, they have no, impact on
We got material.
the rule, they're not material, it's just a typo. With that said, I move we approve the changes made to the rules and regs for 2024.
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
24 now.
All in favor?
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
That was Bob.
Bob, guys.
Aye.
Any discussion?
Great. There wasn't any, no discussion, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Number 3, approve proposed changes to association's architectural review guides. Do I have a motion to approve the changes to architectural review guidelines as proposed by the committee? I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
I know. Go ahead. Somebody.
Andy did it already. Andy seconded.
John made the first. Andy made a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. It's been a long time since both documents have been cleaned up, and they should be a little easier to understand. First one. Okay. Fellow board members, I think John might be talked out. Bob, do you have any final remarks?
Just again, like everybody else has said, I want to thank all the volunteers. They've done a great job. I know they enjoy doing it, but I don't think we should be depending upon them to do the association's job. This is something they volunteer to do, we don't need to be counting on them to do things. It's a volunteer job.
100%.
I appreciate it. My only regret is we didn't accomplish as much as I would like to.
Bob, we talked the other day, and you had taken the time to draw out a proposal for the recycling containment.
Yeah,
And,
you sort of caught me off guard because I didn't bring my stuff with me tonight to talk about that. But my one suggestion is if we do move that dumpster, want to move it from down there for whatever reason, I have some drawings I made up of putting it right across the street where the boutique used to be. There's a way that we can put it in there so that the trucks can get in easily to get in and out. We can, if we put a fence around it, we can put in what I call a cattle chute, a walkway without a gate so that you could get into the recycling and the dumpster without having to open a gate. The gates would then remain closed except for when the trucks come. We would have to add a little bit of concrete over there, but there's an existing concrete pad that would take up most of the need for a pad to put it on. But yeah, I've got drawings and everything on how to do that. But
would you bring that next month and pass that on?
Yeah.
The new victims? Tom.
Thanks, Bob. I'm going to just echo what the other members have said. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve on this board for 4 years. Thank you for giving me this job. As Bob said, personally, I don't think we got as much done as I had hoped to, but I think that's always the case of any political organization. I would continue to run if I've got some health reasons that doesn't allow me to, but I think the job has got a lot of potential to get some of these things accomplished. We've got some great candidates running, and with Eric at the advisory helm, I think we'll be just fine. Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. So when you see your board members up here and they exhibit a little bit of passion and maybe it looks like you're getting a little heated out there, it's because we all really care about this community. If you have a board sitting up here waiting to adjourn it, that's not going to do you much good. So I'm proud to say that this board, all these individuals have been very active and involved in this community and the board. So I want to thank everybody, and again, it's been a pleasure. So before we close the meeting tonight, our favorite part, does anybody have any comments about tonight's discussions?
Marge coming back.
Marge.
I know, Marge Baskin, I know I'm speaking for a minimum of 11 people.
Mark?
Why is that being moved and what's it gonna cost us?
Oh, the thing that I would like to add to that is the other part of the discussion that these board members have had revolving around that, aside from what Bob just presented, was the fact that a lot of residents feel that we have limited parking for the clubhouse, especially during events. So rather than put the expense out of moving it to another location, dog park, and putting down, 25 by 30-foot pad of concrete, why would we spend the community's money to do that when we would be better off expanding the pavement here on our newly acquired property and just push it a little farther to the corner? I'd have to agree with the people that say, hey, it's easy to drive down here, and circle by the dumpster. Again, that's gonna be for the new board to decide what to do.
Marge, your question is, where would it be, how much would it cost, those type of things? I think these guys are just talking about ideas right now. It's nothing to really get upset about yet.
Okay.
And you'll know when it is, but right now, different ideas, talking about it. It doesn't cost anything or hurt anything. I know Bob took some time to do the drawing, we should take a look at it. But I know a lot of people also like it where it is, so we'll see what happens. Right?
Okay, well, like I said, there's 11 of us, I know for a fact, that wonder why it's being moved. But, okay, then we're hearing dog park, then we're hearing lakeside, then we're hearing this. And that's gonna impact people's property. That's why we want it where it is. Is that being taken into consideration?
Oh, yeah,
I think it has to.
Barb told me it was a health hazard.
Well,
Yeah, I think I always take that into consideration. Like if you bought a condo that didn't have a giant dumpster in front of it, then to repark one in front of it, that's not really fair to you. If you bought one that's in front of the dumpster, you knew it was in front of the dumpster when you bought it, that's a different story. Just having to add different common elements and amenities. You have to be careful with doing that because it impacts the owners, and the people that live in that area. So we're
and it
always
also draws
thinking.
little varmints, so that goes back to the health issue.
Yeah, well, hopefully the cardboard is cleaner than the garbage. By the way, we've been catching raccoons and armadillos and we're thinning out the population, so caught a few behind your house, John.
Yeah, the Fricker raccoon left yesterday.
Good.
That was a possum.
It was a possum?
If you're missing a possum, they got it.
They kind of look the same when they're bouncing around inside that little cage.
We had, I think, 10 or 12 raccoons, 1 possum, and 4 armadillos.
Can we continue?
I hope so. Anybody else?
Next question.
Yes, Kathy.
Kathy Williams, 9650 Green Cypress Lane, number 4.
Can everybody hear her?
No. Kathy Williams.
Closer?
Kathy Williams, 9650 Green Cypress Lane, unit 4. I have a couple of things, actually 3. Before I forget, Eric, add me to your list of volunteering to count votes.
Okay.
As far as the light poles, just to reiterate on what everybody's concerns are, yes, you need to take care of the most damaged light poles now, because if, God forbid, someone is hurt or killed, you're gonna have a major lawsuit, and that can ruin this community. So I don't think you wait for a group of them to get done. I think you start now. If it's one at a time, it doesn't matter. You just need to do it. It's about safety. And the other thing was, oh yes, on with the gates. Rather than tabling it till January, could you not, if you get all your bids in, could you not call a special meeting and deal with it then? So you can start right away, rather than waiting a month and then it's gonna be another month.
Potentially we can do that.
I think it's a good idea, I'm just saying, it's my opinion.
No, that solves some of that timing stuff that I was talking about.
Yeah, we could have voted on a dollar limit, but we didn't. Anybody else? And no, I don't think that the cardboard dumpster is a health hazard. If it was a health hazard, we wouldn't have Pine Ridge Days hovering around it. Don't lick your fingers after you use the cardboard recycling bin, please. Could be some germs on there, like Eric said. But for as many people that don't want it moved, there were just as many people that thought it was an ugly eyesore next to the centerpiece of the community. I gotta agree either way, but you can't make everybody happy. So having said that, do I have a motion?
Can I make a motion to close the meeting?
And how about a second? All in favor? Meeting adjourned. So I don't know if that was a sale or not.
No, I didn't.
You gotta start eating.
We can look at it.
I didn't have a
It's right there under the steering wheel.
Oh,
I'll get you one tomorrow.
I didn't have much fun.
That's right.
How to take you right
Yeah, really.
Hey,
I want to go through what we went through the last time.
what was it?
A barrel of flour makes a hell of a biscuit.
Oh, yeah, pound flour. Makes a hell of a biscuit. Makes a hell of a biscuit.
That's definitely a Kentucky,
Kentucky is